Ralph here. True Power Trumpet Fitness, and welcome to Terrific, amazing Thursday. The sun is out, and I thought I was going to get the bike out today, as I told you yesterday, but no such luck. I wake up this morning, it's 24 degrees. So I bundled up, I went for a run. Might have to wait for the weekend to get the bike out. Anyway, I was relatively not busy this morning, so I did get some practicing done. So I'm ready to go. Guys, if you are not spit buzzing, it's gotten to the point where I just think that's the whole ball of wax. So if you're not spit buzzing, you are not really getting the true essence of true power. But that's for another day. Anyway, let's get to it. I'm ready to go. Now, hellacious double C's, killing, and a little bit of Arbon's Carnival of Venice. You know what I like is those little pop. Nobody was better than that Nakarikov. And Liberati. But anyway, so let me explain. There's a new age upon us. And what I mean by that is this. When I first moved to New York, which is back in the 70s, I was smack dab in the middle of what I considered to be the golden age of brass. The powers that be had not cut back on, funding to the arts and all that sort of stuff. So the Met and the New York Philharmonic and the ballets and everything were just flourishing. There was tons of work for classical players, whether they had the job themselves, or they were subs, or they were freelance, or they were on the road. Tons of work. Broadway was killing it. They still had 30, 40, 50-piece orchestras. And that's not counting all the road tours, which punks like myself could, go out and play chorus line, make a bundle of money, and then come back in and be subbing. Broadway was killing it, and the studios were killing it. Guys, top guys, Bernie Glow, we'll get to that in a second. They were buying multi-million-dollar estates out on Long Island because of the studios. The union hadn't caved, and the residuals were just off the charts. Everybody was working. Everybody was making filthy money for the time, and it was just wonderful. But this is a chop channel, right? The top guys when I got there, which was the tried and true guys. The top guy was Bernie Glow. John Frost was another one. Dick Perry was another one. Jimmy Maxwell was another one. All these guys had all the studio stuff locked in, and anything else they felt like wanting to do. Remember, most of the studio stuff was during the day. So in the evening, they just did whatever they wanted. Made a bundle of money. All those guys that I mentioned all had high G's. If that. Bernie Glow's G was a little iffy. And there was one guy in town named Bob McCoy who could play double C's. Now, Bob McCoy happened to be a wonderful player, an all-around player. And because of his double C's, he really got earmarked as a screech guy. And he used to complain, all he got were upper register things. And he was missing out on tons of work that he could have played just because he had a great upper register. It was almost a stigma that he was a screamer and nothing else, which was not the case. Now, about that same time, a group of younger guys came in that are no longer young. Guys like Lou Soloff, Randy Brecker, Alan Rubin, Marvin Stamm. Okay, they came in and they were working, they dovetailed. There was still, again, there was plenty of work for core guys to do it. And all those guys that I mentioned were G guys. There was not a double C in the bunch. Bob McCoy was still doing a lot of the double C stuff. Marvin Stamm didn't even have a G. I mean, he wasn't a lead trumpet player in the traditional sense. He was a terrific player, jazz player, whatnot. but he was not a lead player. Lou Soloff maybe could squeak and squawk up above a G, but for the most part, they were not double C guys. Now, with this group came in Faddis, who was a legitimate double C guy, and him and McCoy were the guys. But you hear what I said? There's only really two guys in town that were that were responsible for all the double Cs. Everybody else was not screaming. Okay? Over the years, we've got a new crop in there now, and it's a very, very small group. Okay? Because there just isn't enough work. It's not like there's not a lot of great trumpet players littering the streets, but there's just not enough work. We're talking guys like Jim Hines, Chris Jardis, Ray Rosario, Mike Pinella. Okay? All of them have double Cs. All of them have double Cs. And if you look on the internet is littered with guys that can squeak and squawk some form of a double C. Now, I don't think it's great trumpet playing. I really don't. You know how I feel about tone, power, range, and endurance. And a lot of these, even though they can, I suppose the note comes out, I don't consider it a legitimate note. Okay? But you take these guys from New York and you throw in Bergeron, whatever. All double Cs. Now you take the virtuosi. Faddis has since, got out of the studios and gone into, soloing. Morrison, Vizzuti, Faddis, who's the guy? Eric Maesharo, okay? All in different little realms, all playing double Cs. Okay? Interesting, there has not been a guy in the classical field that has really replaced Maurice. Maurice had double Cs. And, but, again, and you go, the college kids, a lot of them have squeaks and squawks. High school kids, I have high school kids that are playing double Cs. The point is, guys, the times have changed. A G is not going to do it anymore. A G is not going to do it anymore. And because there's so little work, all those guys that I talked about, Jim Hines, Jardis, all of them can play excellent classical music. They can all play piccolo trumpet, plus the double C. Okay? Now, I'm going to read you a email that Jerry sent me the other day from one of his students. Now, this guy, I'm not going to use his name. Okay? But I will say, of that core group, that small core group that's doing the bulk of the work in New York, this guy, excellent player, he's in his early 40s, is on the fringes of that. He's not quite a household name. So that's one of the reasons I'm not going to use his name. Anyway, I'm not sure if it would make any impression on a lot of you. But here's the email to Jerry. Hey, Jerry, everyone is loving the cornet. He just got a cornet, and Jerry made him a 1SB shank for the cornet. Okay? I'm getting a knack for the new embouchure tweak. Okay? I will keep letting it get easier and get stronger. Here we go. G's above double C were nicely accessible last night. I'm going to come back to that. I can't overblow the cornet. The other day, the saxophone player, the GM says to the Fat Cat. The Fat Cat is a rehearsal band of Who's Who. Everybody that's anybody's in this rehearsal band. Commented that I seem to be a really natural at the instrument and asked if I had extensive classical training. I get a lot more applause for my solos than all the other instrumentals as well. Thank you, blah, blah, blah. But I'm going back to the whole point. Guys, G's above double C were nicely accessible last night. I mean, whoever talks about double C, oh yeah, they're accessible, very nice, like nonchalant. Guys, that is what is happening. Now, he's one of Jerry's guys, and I'm telling you guys, some people fall into it naturally. Hines, Jardis, and all this sort of stuff. If you don't have it naturally, there's only one place to get it. And that's with Jerry and myself. We're the only one that's teaching you what you want. And guys, I told you there's a lot of double C's out there, but a lot of squeaking and squawking. You have a legitimate one. You're going to have it in your palm of your hand. Whether you're just going to play in college, whether you want to make All-State, whether you want to be a professional, get the double C. You can have it. You can have the whole thing. It won't necessarily make you a screamer. You'll be able to play anything. Cornet solos, guys, this is what's going on. This is what's going on, and there is no reason you can't have that double C. With complete and total control of tone, power, range, and endurance, up to it. Okay? Enough said. Join the new age of brass and kill it. Kill it. And live it with true power. Eat and drink fruits and vegetables, and we will talk again and finish up the week on Friday. Love you all. 1, 2,